The end of Represent Owners Club. What's up guys, my name is Mubiix and welcome back to the channel. I know this is a very bold title, but hear me out guys. If you are between the age of 15 to 35, if you are interested in menswear, streetwear, heck even working out, if you chill on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok and consume these kind of contents there, chances are very high you've heard of the brand Represent Clove from the UK. Back in 2013, the brand was founded and it was a slow and steady climb, but around the time frame of 2020, 2021, that was when the brand had the major boom. And it's mainly down to one main line of products called the Owners Club. Chances are extremely high you've seen this print before. I'm just gonna show you a picture, or heck, I even got it here. This is the Represent Owners Club hoodie, and it was sold exactly this way, as you can see it here, for almost 5 years. Of course, not only this colorway, there's tons of colorways, and of course not only hoodies, we had sweaters, we had t-shirts, we had sweat pants, I think, even accessories, caps and stuff, but mainly all of them had this branding, Represent Owners Club. They even had coffee mugs with this branding. So it's fair to say Owners Club is a very important line for the brand Represent, and it made them huge. This brand blew up on social media. Everybody wanted to have an Owners Club hoodie or an Owners Club sweatshirt. And as you probably could tell from the design, it's extremely simple and it's very easy to recognize on the street. Actually, if you ever see someone on the streets wearing Represent, in 90% of the cases, they will be wearing the Owners Club line. Maybe what people will consider the end of the brand or the downfall. Let me explain. With huge amounts of growth, in many cases, businesses tend to shift and then they focus on revenue, because obviously a lot of growth, a lot of customers, a lot of sales makes a lot of money, and then you try to double down on that. That is the main reason why we had pretty much every single colorway you can even think of from these Owners Club products. That's why they even had an own factory only dedicated for producing these Owners Club products. Just think about it. You have this huge ass brand that is making millions and hundreds of millions in sales. They have tons of products, a lot of different products. They even have a women's wear line. But still, this Owners Club line has its own place, its own dedicated factory and manufacturer where it's being produced. That is insane. That's why they had tons of stock of these products, and that's why every year you had at least 2 to 3 times a big sale where you were able to grab these products for a fraction of the original cost. I'm talking about like 40 to 50 euros for a hoodie like this. And I think the original price is like 180 euros. And while it might sound extremely nice and cool for the people who love the brand and for the people who really want to wear these Owners Club pieces, there's another side to the story. Customers tend to expect these cheap prices then, and they won't buy unless you give them these hefty discounts. That's one point, but the major point that I want to talk about is it draws in a lot of new customers. Chances are very high, if you see these Represent pieces all the time, and if you check the website at some point in your life and you realize, damn, that hoodie is quite expensive, which is fair because the craftsmanship and the material is top notch, always. But then you hear about the sale and you're able to grab the hoodie for like 40 euros, 50 euros. That's what made the brand huge, because suddenly everybody was walking around with Owners Club hoodies. And that does something with the image of the brand, both positively and negatively. Positively, obviously, there's a lot of exposure. A lot of new people get to know the brand, they get in touch with the brand, and they might even buy into the brand. The more negative side, though, is that Represent always was kind of exclusive for only people who would actually who are into fashion and streetwear. It's the love for these type of aesthetics, and maybe that's even their way of expressing who they are. For these people, that's not so nice that suddenly the brand becomes mainstream. So these are a lot of different aspects, and if you just combine them all and try to summarize the situation, you can basically say the brand blew up, a lot of new people came in, lots of these people are expecting the cheap prices, and the OGs that used to be huge fans of the brand, they feel like the exclusivity is kind of gone. And another point that I want to just touch on very briefly is I'm just showing you guys a picture from I think 2023 or 2024. I was in Japan and randomly walking through the streets of Tokyo, and there's these stores selling fake pieces. What happened is a lot of people tried to copy. A lot of places started selling fake pieces of these Owners Club lines, and at the same time, a lot of other fashion brands. And that's just a known fact. Represent is in the realm of streetwear, probably one of the biggest brands in the world. Very high quality, tapping into these luxury segments, but still not, these full luxury prices. Represent is probably the OG, or definitely one of the OGs. What a lot of brands do, it doesn't matter if we're talking about Germany, where I'm from, if we're talking about other UK brands, they look up to Represent and they try to imitate what they do, which obviously ended up to pretty much every single brand out there, at least in some form or way, trying to copy this design language. I've been there myself. I've worked with a lot of brands over the past few years, and for the untrained eye, it might not be obvious, but for someone who's like really into fashion, it was very easy to spot when brands came up with a new print that was obviously inspired by these Owners Club pieces. So basically, again, to summarize the whole situation, this boom of Owners Club, even though it was insane for the brand in terms of growth and revenue, it came with a lot of negative aspects as well, which I just tried to outline. It's not just my opinion, it's also what the brand recognized. So they sat down and they thought about, how do we change Owners Club into something new? They came up with the new Owners Club. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new Represent Owners Club. Actually, it's not that new. They came up with this whole identity change in autumn 2025, I guess. So why am I only talking about it now? Well, two reasons. One is it just got restocked, so I thought it's nice to just share it for the people who maybe haven't even seen it yet. And the other reason is I wanted to wait and see how it actually does, how it actually performs. If the brand sticks to the new identity, to the new design of Owners Club, or if it fails, if it doesn't really perform well, and if they end up backtracking because they realize this brings more revenue. So that's why I wanted to wait a bit. But I'm very happy to report two things. First of all, old Owners Club was nice. New Owners Club is miles ahead. Very, very happy to say that. And that's my honest opinion. What changed is the fit is completely new and it is way better. We've gotten so used to the signature Represent oversized fit. They call it oversized, but it's actually, if you ask me, just a slight oversized fit max. This is spot on. Let me show you how it fits. So we have a very, very modern boxy oversized fit. We have a slightly crop fit. We have a very exaggerated drop shoulder. And finally, we have decent sized hoods, which is a big problem for pretty much all UK brands, if you ask me. Hoods are usually way too small on all the hoodies from UK brands. I'm very happy to report that it's not anymore. These new Owners Club pieces fit insanely well. There's one downside though. The weight of the fabric has been slightly reduced. I think we were close to 500 GSM 100% cotton fabric back then. And this, I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't feel like a lot heavier than 400 GSM. Maybe it's 420, something like this. Same for the t-shirts. If you ask me, Represent oversized t-shirts, the old fit used to be, in my opinion, the weakest product that was available on the Represent website in terms of fit and how it looked. In my opinion, it was just very outdated and it was time to update it. The new Owners Club though, very, very beautiful fit. Exactly what I described with the hoodie. It's slightly boxy, it's oversized, we have an exaggerated drop shoulder. It's just perfect. Here you can see actually how it fits on me. And of course, there's not only hoodies and t-shirts, there's sweaters, there's sweatpants, and there's just quite a few different products available, even for the girls as well. So if you're for some reason, if you're a lady watching this video, there's something for you as well. I feel very confident saying that it is the end of Represent Owners Club, but at the same time, it is the rebirth of a new identity and a new Owners Club. And I'm very excited to see how the brand will work with the new Owners Club line in the future, what new designs we can expect, what new colorways we can expect, what new fits we might be able to see. It's just very refreshing. And it was about time for the brand to do something about it, and I'm very happy that they did. But that's my opinion to Represent and the Owners Club. What is your opinion? Let me know in the comments and I'll catch you in the next video. mubiix, I'm on.